Boston Bruins have made a massive move, claiming Oliver Wahlstrom off waivers from the New York Islanders. We're going to be talking about what this signing means for the Bruins and what this means for Elias Lindholm's injury going forward. This is a major move that not a lot of people expected from the Boston Bruins, but as you've seen from yesterday's video, I had it on my mind and the Bruins wanted and needed to do this move. But before we get into all of this news, we know it's 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button. Join me here on the channel. We are covering everything Boston Bruins, and just like this, we're going to have the news immediately for you. But without any further ado, as I mentioned, let's get into this one. The Bruins have made a pretty shocking move by some people's standards, although, as I mentioned, from yesterday's video, you probably saw that I was high on Oliver Wahlstrom being claimed by the Boston Bruins, and that has came to fruition. Now, this is not going to be a move that is an immediate help for the Boston Bruins. This is not going to be a move that is going to change their season apart, but this is a lot more implications than what it may seem like. And I'll pull up our first screenshot here, coming from Elliot Friedman, of course. Boston claims Wahlstrom, and of course, Pierre Engvall clears. So, as what I mentioned yesterday, that's my thought. I feel like Oliver Wahlstrom was the one that would be claimed of the two, and if it was the Boston Bruins, they would be certainly going after Wahlstrom in this case, where we saw him, as I mentioned, at 9 years old in the Bruins showcase in the intermission, do an absolute crazy move on a breakaway, and I feel like that stadium, TD Garden, just has some special memories for Wahlstrom, and really hope that that will unlock him and really set him on the right path going forward, as well as being on a team that is actually offensive heavy rather than focusing solely on defense. But as I mentioned, this move, I do believe, and I don't want to confirm it or whatnot because we still don't know the timeline of Elias Lindholm's injury yet, but this move seems to be something that is going to replace Elias Lindholm for at least a little bit. And although he may not be an immediate replacement or a one-for-one replacement after Elias Lindholm really hasn't had the hottest start to the season, yet he still is a crucial part of this Bruins team, it is much better to have someone who has been in the NHL for, as I mentioned in yesterday's video as well, years and years. And it seems like for so long, even though he's only 24 years old, and being on the Islanders his whole career definitely isn't favorable for a player like himself, a player who is known for a very talented and kind of sneaky offensive ability. When you're on the Islanders, you're playing solely defense. They play the 1-3-1. We've seen that in the playoffs a couple years ago, and it really is, I don't want to say a boring style of hockey because it works, and it is very entertaining to watch when it's executed perfectly like the Islanders do. But for the offense and looking at that team, if you're not named Matt Barzal, if you're not named Brock Nelson, it is something that you really don't have every opportunity you would elsewhere in the NHL. So I'm happy to say Oliver Wahlstrom now is on the right track and in the right opportunity to be able to really unlock his capabilities and the abilities that we've seen from him in the NHL career and in his, junior career as well. And I want to pull up this contract as well. And a 1 year, $1 million deal, and RFA at the end of the season, it's a risk-free deal. If we do end up putting Elias Lindholm on if we end up putting him on the IR, that makes some more room, $7.5 million on the LTIR. Now, let's hope, and I do not believe it will be LTIR, but having the ability to add a $1 million player, risk-free, huge potential, 24 years old, RFA, there really is no loss in that at all. It's either a rental really for this season to kind of just boost your offensive ability, boost some team's energy and whatnot, get a spark going, or it's a contract that you get, hey, imagine we claim this guy off waivers, now look where we are in a couple of years. And I do favor that option more than just having him for 1 year. I think Oliver Wahlstrom is really going to like his style of play with the Boston Bruins, and it really just does seem like it will end up being a very, very good game of hockey for him in a great place to play. And I pull up this video, or this screenshot in last video as well, and I kind of wanted to pull up once again, and as you see, the past few seasons really hasn't had a full set of games. The last time he actually played really anything over 35 games was in the 21-22 season, 73 games, 24 points for the New York Islanders, and that was really the extent of what we've seen from him at the NHL level. But as you see, playing since 2019-2020 at 24 years old, it really does seem like he's been in the NHL forever, just because of how many years he's not played a full season, but has been in the NHL to experience a full go, I guess we could say at this point. And with that, I do expect that we're going to see this at least boost up quite a bit and really boost his point, and hopefully that will be the case. He's not going to be an immediate jump onto the top six. He's going to start off in the bottom six, but I really do see, and I'm really hoping this as well, for his sake, for his career, that we're going to see a big turnaround for the Boston Bruins. And with that as well, he's a kind of a local guy from Portland, 11th overall pick, as I mentioned, was in the TD Gardens at 9 years old in the intermission, playing with the kids and on doing breakaways and stuff. So there is a special spot in his mind for TD Gardens and for the Boston Bruins, which really is a lot more of an impact than what it may seem. Playing in what your fan favorite childhood team definitely is something that you've always dreamed of, and hopefully for Oliver Wahlstrom, this is going to be a nice change under Joe Sacco, and very surprising, to be honest, that Don Sweeney actually tried to make a move to help the Boston Bruins team out in this season, rather than calling up someone in the AHL that really probably should have been favored over someone else. So I'm very happy to say Oliver Wahlstrom now on the Boston Bruins, and I did want to pull this one up as well. The JFresh chart, kind of look at this. A projected 17 more is not great whatsoever, but there's only room to go up. And I know that's kind of a very cheesy thing to say, a very, basic thing to say, but with 20% on the offense, 33% on the defense, I could really see these go up by at least double, triple with the Boston Bruins if he do get that opportunity to play, if he does get that opportunity to really stick in a spot and stay at a consistent level. And I think there's so much potential in him. As you see, fourth liner, 1x1, 24 years old, right wing, those numbers, or those little statistics there, I guess we could say, really should have much more of an impact on this projected more honest percentages here. And there really is no doubt in my mind that this will increase, and I'm hoping the best and hoping the most for that as well. And of course, as I mentioned, Elias Lindholm really is the key factor of why this move was made, in my opinion. And we still don't know a timeline. We still don't have a timeline for this injury, or really even what it is, apart from an upper body injury after last game when he left only after 6 shifts or 12 shifts, 6 minutes time on ice, whatever it was. I can't recall at this point. But looking at the offense now, what we have, as I mentioned in the last video, Matt Poitras is an option to be called up as well if we do want to have him come up and fill that exact role in center on the second line, with Tyler Johnson potentially being a waivers candidate, whether that be him, whether Mark McLaughlin be sent down. There's lots of options for the Bruins to make room for Oliver Wahlstrom here in this lineup, and if I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's Tyler Johnson that is going to be taking the hit here. And unfortunately, it didn't really work out. I was heavy on him at the beginning of the season, waiting for him to be signed after that PTO, and after taking quite some time and still skating with the Boston Bruins, it just really don't seem to work out for Tyler Johnson. It doesn't seem like he really had that big bounce that we thought he was going to have coming off Chicago last season, but at the end of the day, I think Oliver Wahlstrom is the perfect fit to slide in that third line with Charlie Coyle and Trent Frederic. That's a line that I really see a lot of energy coming out of, and Oliver Wahlstrom being put on that line as well is something that really just seems like the perfect fit for me. And Oliver Wahlstrom in a Bruins jersey, let's be honest, that's something that I think really is going to look good on the ice, especially when we see him get that first goal in the Bruins uniform. So let me know what you think about this move. And of course, I didn't really think a lot of people were going to expect this move. I didn't think that we would see, the Bruins at least actually claim him. I was really hoping for it and really thinking it was the greatest opportunity. And the Bruins actually thought so as well, which is a very good thing. So let me know what you think about this move. I've been a big fan of it. I want to know what you guys think. And where do you think he's going to slot in on this forward side of things? And do you think we may see someone placed on waivers? But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy it, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. And remember, any breaking news like this, I will have it for you immediately. So you're going to want to make sure to hit the sub button if you do want to stay up to date with all of your Boston Bruins news. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.